Hello there, and welcome to Life Clarifications with Natasha Venter. I'm a medium, I'm a personal awareness life coach, and the reason why I say that is because I am one who brings awarenesses to life and personal journeys. So I want to say welcome, welcome, and welcome, and welcome. And if you notice, I'm going to be very human, and that's why I learned so much. I learned so much from life and I go into observe it mode. So I don't judge people. I like to learn from the way that other people work through things, and I love to learn through life's things. And as we go through life, life has its ups and its downs. And today I felt like I was supposed to call, I was having actually a struggle to think about what to talk about today. And it came to me all of a sudden to talk about something that has been happening kind of in my life, but yet I'm not going to call those people out. That, our mind likes to say one thing that might happen in our future, yet at the same time, what is reality going to be? That's a good question, isn't it? What does our mind wants to say that our future is going to be? And what is reality going to be? Who really knows? Who really truly knows what reality is going to be until it's here, right? Well, I know this can be a 5-minute conversation or a little bit more, and I would love input for those just to kind of give some insight on what your mind or what your stories are turning out to be. Because I know right now, this is what I have learned and I am observing about life is that this summer, especially, even though we've got a lot of endings coming up, we got what is our future going to be? We in Washington State here, and I know when I was down in California that there were some counties that were closing down, remasking, doing these things so that we can reopen again. But what I'm noticing is that if we really go with the flow, go with possibilities, one never knows what the future can hold. Mm. And you know who truly stops us a lot of times? It's our mind. Our mind tells us that's not possible. How can that be possible? That's not at all possible. Who's to say? Who's truly to say what is possible? I know that one of my clients and friend, Veronica, she's usually here, showed me a picture today of this bug that was on her window. And she was like, what is it? It's not a bug. It's not this. It's not that. Well, I'm going to call it a bug. It could be. But what I really got, what I'm getting is that the dimensions that we were in, the dimensional walk that we've been in the 3D-ish, this is a beetle, this is a spider, this is a bird, the sparrow, this is a hummingbird, all those 1, 2, 3, 4 animals, right? That we are actually waking up to working in other dimensions. We're waking up to being in different dimensions. I'm going to use an example of me. The other night, it was about 3 nights after I got home, I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up and I could not remember. I could not recognize where I was. It was weird. It was like I know that I was in my house. I can see the surroundings that look like my home. Yet I was not in this dimension. I know I was in another dimension, in a different reality. And when we're walking with those understandings that we're not necessarily in this dimension all the time, well, guess what? We're going to have bugs. We're going to have beings. Just kind of like, if you ever watch that show, it's on, it's one of the cable channels, Paranormal Now, I think is what it's called, or something like that, if I can get that word out of my mouth. Paranormal Now. or whatever, where you get, these films of things happening. And my husband keeps asking me, "So what do you think it is?" And I would say fairy, star being, another planet, this or that. And yeah, I wouldn't deal with that spirit that's in that house. And he's just naming off all these, asking me all these things. And here comes to find out the people that are doing the videos are like going, "Yeah, that was a fairy." You know, and as we work through life and as we go through life, we're coming across these other beings that are going to become everyday-ish. Now, some of them are going to look kind of weird and wonky, but I'm going to tell you that, like Veronica, you wonderful, wonderful, you have been walking and waking up into your own knowings and your own self, right? Well, and I'm sorry for calling you out here, sweetie. Oh, God, I got that. I'm sorry for calling you out here because, but that was a perfect example of how things are happening. Things are happening around us. Yet at the same time, though, going back to what the question was for today was, what does our mind tell us that our future is going to hold? If we go with knowing that we're working with different dimensions, that we're working with different knowings, we're waking up to where a lot of people aren't able to work in the navigation of what they used to because the vibrations are so challenging right now. And then you have this magic of, what we're witnessing around us. The Star Nation, they're coming down and saying hello to us a lot more. They're being more vulnerable. Well, they're asking us to be more vulnerable. And what they're doing is they're asking us to be more vulnerable with our futures. I'm going to say that again. They're asking us to be more vulnerable with our futures. And this happened to me, probably about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when I went down to Florida. Went down at Christmas time. I pre-ordered renting a car, for us, a minivan or something. We had 7 of us going down at one time, so we needed a bigger car. So I wanted to make sure. Well, guess what? They ended up not having a car for us. They over, did how many cars they had. So we went back to the airport and we stood there and we were wondering, oh gosh, we were tired. It was like 11 o'clock at night. Everybody was beat. Flying from Washington State to Florida, it's not a quick flight. It's like 6 hours, almost 6 hours. We were beat tired. And here I stand there, and I scan. I go, okay, universe, where should we go? I'm done thinking negativity. Where should we go? What should we do? And all of a sudden, my eyesight goes to this one gentleman stand behind it. I go, honey, I'll stand here in this line. You go stand in that line. I say, there's a possibility over there. Because that guy had a little bit lighter energy. He had more of a glow to him. And my eyes lingered on him, kind of like when I'm picking cards. You kind of go to that one spot. Come to find out, he had like 3 SUVs. Me going, okay, guys, let's think positive. What can we have? Where can we go? We're gonna be getting this. We're gonna be getting home. Come on, let's go. Let's go. We're thinking positive. Beat tired. We ended up getting an SUV that actually we could travel with 4 more people, and it was actually cheaper than the car that I wanted to rent. It's amazing when we work through things, when we have the possibility, what can happen magically next for me? Another example, which I can only use myself as an example here, is down in California, traveling. I like to travel sometimes. My girlfriend that I just was visiting with, it was 4 years ago. And we were sitting there and life was just, like, starting to go. Her son wanted us to do something, we were just kinda rolling with what life was doing for us, you know? And it was just getting more and more heavier, and we were starting to find ourselves complaining. I said, "Stop. Let's stop. Let's stop." And that's the key. We gotta say to our mind, "Let's stop. Let's stop." Hmm. I said, "You know what? Let's think. What can happen next in our lives? What magical thing can happen next in our lives? What can we do? What is going to come to us to bring us sunshine, bring us life, bring us these moments?" Well, here we go off on that next errand that we were needing to do. Guess what happened? We got a text. She got a text from a friend, offered us to go dancing for that night in a nice posh, it was a country club, so it was where you wanted to dress up, and it was one of the better nights. I still remember it like it was yesterday. We danced from like 9 o'clock until 2 in the morning. I mean, it was one of those great nights because, well, dancing for me is one of my magical moments. That we all had fun, and that was the thing is that this happened, that happened. A friend "Well, we're gonna go here. Do you wanna come with us?" And it was just like everything built on one another for this magical moment to happen. What can happen next in our lives? I've done this new feng shui, part of my business that I'm actually coming out with. I've had this happen several times. I've walked in their door, mentioned these little moments where things are happening, that I get a text later, "Guess what? I got a job interview." When we change our mindset, "Oh, nothing's gonna happen. What you gonna do? I can't do anything. Life is just a downer." When we're sitting there in that mode, yes, that is called life. Yes, we're allowed to have those moments. No, should we stay there? I'm going to say no to that. Should we stay there? When we take the opportunity to say, what can happen next? What truly can happen next? And you go with what truly can happen next? Veronica, I know you're watching. I know you've had these magical moments where something has happened to you and it's actually turned out to be for the better because of your change in your mindset. If you would like to put something, if anybody would like to put something down about that, I would be grateful because there are times in our lives, I can say this with everybody, that there's been magical moments that happen when your brain told you different. Your brain told you different. Many of our brains tell us, well, that's not the way I wanted it to happen. Why is the universe having this and this and this happen? I don't want to go there. And yet at the same time, it's like if we really walk with it, that's the key is walking with it. When we really walk with it, life has its moments where it says, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? And knowing that life is not going to be easy. Definitely, life is not going to be easy. So Veronica just wrote, yeah. I always try to think positively. Things turn out great. They do. Now, does that mean that life's not going to have its times? Definitely. Life is going to have its times. But those are those times where we can take our moments and, thank you, Veronica, and those moments just, we have to take those moments. We really have to take those moments. And sometimes even just taking a moment and shutting our eyes for a minute and shutting down to restart can have these moments. Now, today I was walking through, I had to go do some personal shopping, and I was in Ross, and my family is having a struggle here with the mind work. Well, I found this lion. Well, and I live with, well, my 2 kids and my husband and my mom she's now passed, all Leos. So the lion is pretty amazing in my life. Well, I wish I would have brought it over here. I found a lion at this one store that's doing a meditative. His legs are crossed and he's doing a meditative moment with a crown on his head. You know, when you feng shui, that's what's amazing. So guess where he's going to go? He's going to go in the room where, which is directly as you're walking through the door. It's the furthest point from where you're sitting. So since I walk into the room, this here would be my how do I want to be perceived window. Okay. So I want to be perceived with having financial abundance because that's the angel of financials. Dragon's energy of love and grace. I have different stones up here to help balance. And then I have another angel that she's putting actually her sword away. She's putting her sword away. So how do I want to be perceived? Believing with abundance, with the magicalness of life. I also have my mermaid that's showing me that I can swim through pretty much anything. And then I have these guys here that create magic. So as we put things in our lives to help us be inspirational, well, now I'm going to put that lion who's very meditative and okay and just dealing with life, that I'm going to put in the room for the whole house that has how do I want to be perceived, and he's going to go into a prominent place so that the lions in my life can be balanced with love and perceived as calm, balanced in the moment, in the structure. As we walk through life and as we go through life, think about what's around us that causes us chaotic, that causes us negativity. Now I'm going to say, and I'm going to show you another spot here, that in this corner, I have lights that keep going out. Imagine that, me having lights that keep going out. And I use Christmas lights. So what is this corner telling now that I have lights half on but half off? And this is my relationship corner. Well, that's telling me that in my relationships, that if I put the light back on, I might have more balance. So with that this is going to be one of my fixes when I've been pretty busy, husband's or kids' birthdays and coming back from my trip, and I've been able to do it in the timely manner I've wished for. But as we work through life and as we go through life, our surroundings can either inspire us or expire us. Remember what I did I had this, I know I did this last time, last Wednesday. Our minds navigate with what's around us and who we're around. Okay. Now, my wonderful Leos around me well, you're either an optimist or a pessimist in life. Okay, I'm not going to call them Leos. You're either an optimist or a pessimist. And optimism is about, you know what? I believe the cup is either half full or it's going to be getting full of love and light. Or a pessimist would think, it's half empty and life is kind of pretty crappy. You can ask a pessimist, well, how was your day? You know, this happened, that happened. You know, these people came into my job and they were just, and I, with as being the optimist that I am, I go, is there anything good that happened in your day? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can you label them? Uh, I guess it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's a pessimist for you. An optimist would be, yeah, life was kind of hard today, but I had some magical moments in my day. Or I had some good moments in my day. It depends on the language you use. I use my one of my favorite words lately is magic. I'm asking for magic of the good and love to be in my life. I'm creating magic all around me. That's my inspiration. Because right now, the more we believe in that magic, the more our mind can go, there is a possibility, isn't there? There is a possibility, isn't there? Just like I've been asking for certain things to come out of my life. You know, what I ended up doing was finding myself being in alignment for receiving that kind of help, in alignment for receiving those gifts that I could have. So I want to ask you, when you're asking for magic in your life, when you're doing those things that can create those magical moments in your life, do you feel worthy to have them? Oh, that's a big one, isn't it? Do you feel worthy to have them? I can tell you, a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't feel worthy to have magical moments or good things or those moments of prosperity. Now, last year, if people remember, I tweaked my ankle pretty good. It was during the months of July and August. I didn't really walk for the first 3 weeks of it, and yes, I could have put a boot on my ankle, yet my ankle said, "No, do not. Do not do that, because 'cause you're gonna walk on it more, you're gonna use it more, and that's when it's not gonna heal as well." So with that, I chose, my husband was gracious enough to let me, do things, but not do the physical things that my ankle wanted to do. And also too, it was in my right ankle. So it was my gas pedal. Oh, it's not a metaphor for life. It was my gas pedal foot. So I had to take my foot off the gas pedal and really integrate what I was working on, right? I had to slow down. I redid my website. Now I'm redoing it again. Oh, you can make appointments on my website now. Yes. So things are happening. Things happened during that taking your foot off the gas pedal. Things can move forward. You just got to manage it differently. Well, I'm going to tell you though that I noticed when I was down in California, because I went down there about the time that I tweaked my ankle started to burn a little bit because of the memory, the cellular memory of something happening. So if we think about this, okay, that our mind is tissue just like the ankle is, and it's going to have cellular memory of negative things happening to us because it's tissue. It's cells, it's stuff. My ankle has a lot of the same mindset that my brain does. And it remembered the negative thing. Now, yes, I'm doing energy work on it. I'm asking it to heal. I've done some things to say, thank you for moving forward. It's not where it hurts. I can just feel there's an energy where it was tweaked before that it needs a little more healing, because that memory stamp, because life does things that stamp, kind of like when my dad died at the end of June. Sometimes I think about it and I go, oh, yeah. No wonder I'm a little bit in a funk. No wonder I'm in a little bit of a funk. Because that stamp of reality, that stamp that happened in my life, my mind remembers that stamp, so things happen. The one way to shift it, because you cannot just throw energy away or memories away or those things away. You have to transform them. Energy does not stop and create new. Now it's kind of like our metals and our glasses and stuff. Recycling. Does it change truly? Now, let's take a ring that has gold and they melt down the gold. Well, that ring still is in there and it transforms into what it's new going to be. Yet there's still that inkling of something maybe in it. Everything does not change, yes and no. It's about transforming it, moving it through, changing its energy. Now, when our mind says, no, that ain't going to be any good, that's not going to work, you know, it just, no, no, no. It's kind of like I'm going to go buy a new car, and my routine has been that I get shitty cars. Do we have to keep getting shitty cars because that's what our mind tells us that we're going to get? No, 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 no. This time, I'm worthy, and I'm able to get a new car or a newer car with newer abilities, with refreshingness to drive. I'm worthy of driving something that I can have value with. So, what we have had, we can transform it to something magical that we can have. But it's that belief system. It's that telling the mind, there's magic in the air. There's magic in the air. Are you excited? There's magic in the air. And find the things around you. Yes, I've got a lot of stuff. This is my spiritual room, like I've said before. So it's got a little bit more spirituality because even though I trickle out into the rest of the house, I try to have the house more neutral than this room. So with that, and I'm working on the process of if something comes in, something has to go out. Practicing better at that. So as we walk forward and as we go forward and as we maneuver things and with things, remember that as they present themselves, do they have to stay that way? No. We can have magic. This summer has been magical. I know that I was just talking with one of my coworkers, and she had at the beginning of the summer plans to do XYZ. Go on a cruise, do this, do that. Well, guess what? She didn't. She ended up going and doing something else with family. She ended up doing something else with family. And then she had this magical knowing that she had, and it's not for me to say, but she found out that there's something magical going to happen in her life. And if she went those other places, she wouldn't have that ability to have that magicalness to happen. And if you notice what's happening, like she got this information when she was at somebody's wedding. She found out something that was going to be her magical moment. Now, does magical moments always have a negative and a positive with it? Yes. A shadow effect and a positive? Yes. It's called life because there's balance. Yet at the same time, though, that was the double yes. For an example, like me waking up and doing my feng shui down in California, doing the magic of that, finding that I can actually do this. I'm worthy of having and helping people in this magical way. I had my totem hawk come at my own home in Washington, 2 states away, at the same time. Now, and that's about getting a bigger vision. It's about getting a clear vision. It's about trusting the process of where I fly, flying in and out of places, looking up, screeching. They're talking all the time. These hawks are talking all the time. And you know how it's about talking to ourselves all the time, about finding inspiration. I'm allowing magic in my life. I grew up with my dad. This comes a little easier to me than a lot of people, I think, because my dad. My dad. Oh, my dad did a lot of healing work with me when I was down in California. I couldn't be more grateful. Thank you, Dad. He's been gone now. Let's see, my kid just celebrated his 28th birthday. So my dad's been gone 28 years now. I was 20. Bing! I was 28 when my dad died. My kid is 28 years old. And it was 28 years ago. 2 and 8, if you add them together, equals 1. Magical new summer. New beginning. New knowing. New being. Do you see how life... Sorry, missing my dad for a moment here. Isn't there life? See how life can bring magic to you. in a moment where sadness can be here. But isn't that the way that magic can come into your life? These moments where, oh my gosh, I'm having a 1 year with my families, new beginnings, and the magic that's created. And then the Hawks vision, giving me that look at the bigger vision, look at that knowing, uh, all those moments. And thank you, Kathy, for saying this. Now that's a quite a Saturn return. Yes, it is a Saturn return. And if I remember, Saturn returns are when things come back around full circle and they have that boom movement. And I can tell you, this summer, before I left for California, I went back and did a fair right at the end of school. That was my first fair I went to after coming back from Doreen Virtue's angel therapy practitioner course. And I did that fair. And so it was amazing how I noticed how much I've changed. Everybody starts somewhere. Everybody is somewhere. There's these moments where life tells us it's time for us to move on. It's time for us to go forward. It's time for us those things that are happening. And Kathy writes, 27.5-29 years of age. First one, major life changes. Yes, major life changes. Oh, yeah. Because my parents, my mom, my dad passed away when I was 28. Uh, and I was 6 weeks pregnant with away from having my first child. So my dad died the end of June. My birthday was July 11th, and my kid was born August 10th. We bought our first house actually May. So May, bought our first house. Dad died the end of June. Birthday was in the beginning of July, and my first child was born in August 10th. So that was my June, or my 28 year. My 32 year was had my second child. My mom had Lou Gehrig's disease, sold 3 houses, bought one, husband changed jobs, alcoholism, and life happening, having a 4-year-old. We have these moments where life tags us. Magic can happen. I can tell you that year that I was taking care of my mom, I had the magic of caregivers and family. My family. Kathy, if you're watching, and your siblings, your family, woo, bring tears to my eyes now for how much that was grace. That was grace for me. So we have these things that happen in our life that brings us to these magical moments. I had great caregivers. I had magical. My first child, the one that just celebrated, when he would notice I was tired, he'd go, "Mom, let me go take care of Grandma for you." I had a magical kid. That's why I believe in magic, because even though shit is happening, crap is happening, when we believe in the moment and we believe in what we can have, it's amazing where we can be with life. You never know what can happen. So please ask your mind to take a seat back. Take the back seat to drive in instead of trying to be a front seat driver. Take it and let the angels and your guides and yourself trust the process of where you're going to go. Because I can tell you, when the times in my life where I was my guides and angel, taking turns driving in the driver's seat, I was on the console in the middle because I was too nosy to know what was where I wanted to go. And another group of angels and guides were in the passenger seat communicating where to go. And I was kind of sitting there going, "That's amazing. Where they're taking me. Ah, yay!" When we trust the process and get that image, where can we go? What's happening with us? It's amazing where. And I cannot say that enough. I know I've said that about 15 zillion times. This summer is that. This summer is that. You know, I know that a lot of us are struggling with homes, health, uh, you know, financial withdrawals. But if you look at the people's life that are there, I'm going to tell you that they don't feel worthy of having life different. And I mean that with love. And I tag me it. I get in those moments too where I'm not worthy of that. And something in me, and I know that it's part of the way that I'm made up, I guess, or my brain is, because my dad, I was going to go back to this, this guy got me squirreled off onto my dad and family, that my dad used to walk around the house saying, "Get excited. Life is possible." And I can tell you that when I was in depression as a young child, and he would do that once in a while, and he would, I would swear, do this for himself because he was feeling down himself. He would just yell out, "Get excited! Let's get excited! Things are happening." That when he did that, it kind of shifted that energy in the house. So if I can suggest, do it when somebody's there, do it when nobody's there. Walk around your house saying, "Okay, guys, let's get going. Let's get things moving. I'm asking for possibilities in my life. I'm asking for magic in my life." Just walk around, clapping your hands, shake up the energy, turn on music if you want. Do something different for a change and be in the magical moment. And I betcha you'll find that things might start coming across. Now I'm going to tell you, just kind of like the other day when I was doing something down in California. Where was I? I was feng shuiing a house. And here there's that jumping spider that came down and jumped into the welcome sign. A jumping spider saying, "Be ready to jump. Get ready to jump into your life. Be ready to move forward. Let's get this moving." Well, guess what? She got unemployment that morning. The next morning, she texted me with a job interview. So she's going to get all her back uh, monies for unemployment when they wouldn't give it to her, and she's starting off with a possibility of a new job. Now I haven't heard if she's gotten it or not because she had to interview for it, but everybody was liking her. Now if she doesn't get the job, that tells her though she's getting closer because it was a job that she was actually looking forward to having, something like that. So if she didn't get that one, there was going to be another one that was going to be closer to in alignment with her because she was in that possibility of inspiration. That's the thing about life, is about meeting it halfway. When we meet life halfway, that's when life can give us gifts. I'm going to say that again. When we're willing to meet life halfway, life can give us gifts. And that's part of becoming worthy, being willing, being accepting, being willing to go there, wherever there is. Be willing. Be willing to trust, accept, and surrender to the moments that life isn't the way we want it all the time, but it's willing to shake us up, rattle us. Kind of like I was having another moment the other day with someone. She got the, let me see if it's up on top here. No, I think I shuffled the cards. Sorry here. Disruption, movement. Yeah. Ah, yes. Okay. So she got this card. Birth to rebirth, right? Birth to rebirth. She also got the death card. The death card. So what I was telling her is that that when you're going through the death, the birth, to the rebirth. There's that death moment. It's the hyphen. It's the hyphen in the middle, right? When we're going through change, it's the hyphen in the middle. Like I told her, don't stand too long on that rocky middle of change. Jump into the next part. You never know. Treat the hyphen in between death and rebirth, the 9 with magical moments of 11, that number, I bet you a lot of people are seeing 9/11 in their life. So when you have 9/11, so 9 is about endings and 11 is about magical new beginnings, right? So when we're walking through life and as we're going through life, trusting the process, what can that ending with new beginnings? Now, we 9, those 2 dots, and 11, we stay too long in the middle. It's kind of like when you're walking on those rocks by the ocean or that kind of thing, and here that rock is kind of a little bit unsteady. Well, that's the hyphen in between change. If we stay too long in that moment, and we want to stay in the ending where it's like tragedy and sorrow and pain and ache and disappointment? Can we go into the new beginning, that new birth, that rebirth of life? Can we go from that moment of death to rebirth? Get off the hyphen, get off that the rocky rock of uncertainty, and step into what can be possible. Because life is about moving forward. I'm going to say it again. Life is about moving forward. We're not supposed to stay. We're really not supposed to stay in the moment of disappointment and pain. It's a teaching moment. It's a surrender moment. It's a vulnerable moment so that we can move forward into that next step. Life is going to be, it's going to be, it's just going to be. So I was getting the tap. That's almost time for cards, isn't it? So, does anybody want to say which deck they want? Do you want the Claudette Baron Reed cards that I just have here all over the front of me? Or do we want the angel deck, the angel's messages? Or we can have the animal deck? Or we can have the fairy deck. So we have Doreen Virtue's Angel and Fairy deck. We also have the animals, and we can have the Claudette Baron Reed, the Oracle cards. Anybody want to make yin and yang fairies? Thank you. Yin and yang fairies. Yes. Yin and yang fairies. Oh, those yin and yang fairies. They are amazing, aren't they? Oh, yes. We have fun. We've been having a fun summer. Actually, I've lost since the beginning or since the last like 6 weeks of school and down in Florida and down in California. I kind of misplaced, not my fairies, guides too, kind of took my glasses so I can get a different vision. So I'm shuffling the cards to see what they want to tell us. You know what I got doing that? I don't wear my glasses a lot while I'm walking around the house because my eyes are pretty good close up. It's far off vision. So drivings, 3D world, going out in the world of grocery stores and that kind of thing. And actually, I take off my glasses when I need to read what's there. And so with that as we walk through life and going through that actually I need to change my vision of my 3D world, which is that part of changing what I am truly seeing. Am I seeing a bug or am I seeing another dimension? Am I seeing an animal that I, there's unicorns being seen now. If you looked, there was the show that I talked about, it was Paranormal Now, that this one guy actually got a picture of a Sasquatch. He looked pretty human. I always knew they would because they're part of that part of us as humans decided to go off into another dimension and they did not come forth into us. But they're very much like the First Nation, the Native Americans, that they are like them in how they live off the land, doing teepees or some kind of coverage for sleeping. They actually walk in and out of different portholes. That's why they're there 1 minute and not there the next. And that's why a lot of people see orbs when they're around, because there's dimensional walk. There's the dimensional navigation of what we're working through, what we're walking through. And it's amazing when we really go into that magic. There's that word again. Like I said, I'm believing in magic. I'm believing in magic. My husband and I are going to go on with a family, going to go back to Florida for Christmas. $4,000 plane tickets. I bought tickets last night, $3,000 for everyone, and yes, people are paying me back, but that's still. My husband's like, I'm going. Let's create magic with this. What can possible happen? I'm going to get busier. We're going to get money's coming in. Things are going to come magically to us because this is a trip we're meant to be, and we're going to do it as a family because that's the way we're meant to be. I got that hit. He wants it a little different. He's struggling with his mindset with it. There again, believing in optimism-ishness or pessimism-ishness. It's those moments. Okay, so let's see what the fairies want to tell us. What do the fairies want to tell us about our opportunities? That's a good question, isn't it? What would the fairies like to tell us about our opportunities in this world? Not just, there's that one. What do they want to tell us about our opportunities? Hearing 3 cards. Top one, okay. I heard top. And then there's this one right here. That's grabbing my attention. Okay. So this card right here was upside down. Perfect timing. This is the right time for you to move forward. So this card here, perfect timing. Oops. Perfect timing. This is a perfect time right now for you to move forward. And it was upside down. When cards are upside down, it's not a negative thing. It's kind of what I heard was it's time to look at the synchronicity. There's a key word. The synchronicity of when to do something. The synchronicity of when to do something. So I'll give you an example. There was a sale on the plane tickets. I had the intuitive hit to buy the tickets that night. It was not the right time for my husband. So I heard, I can wait. There will be another sale. I had confirmation. Thank you, Kathy. There was confirmations that there would be another sale coming up. Guess what? I got an email on. I got an email and I was asking inspiration. Okay, so since it's not the right time for my husband, it's the right time for me. Those things are not syncing up, right? They're upside down, not syncing up. So I'm going to wait for the better time. So husband and I had a great conversation. Came to some kind of conclusion. Moving forward, couple of days, the universe said, here's your time. When we work with the synchronicity of time, it is the right, perfect timing for life to happen. Now look at this card. She's looking up. She's going for it. She's finding that inspiration. She's finding that joy of where she can go. I don't even know what this next card is. Admit to yourself, or admit true feelings to yourself. Yes, be honest with yourself. Only you know what it is that you truly desire. Isn't that true? Admit your true feelings to yourself. Be honest with yourself. Only you know what is your true desire. So in order to create magic in your life, work on what you want. Get clear about what you want. I want to go to Florida. I want to see my family. I want to see the family that I don't see very often. I want to do it with the family that's here in Washington. and I want us all to have a great time, and I'm wanting the monies to do it with so that we can do it without going in debt. I'm creating the magic. I'm creating that moment, and I want everybody to have a joyous time. Does that mean that it's going to be joyful all the time? No, a joyous time. We think about it as a great time for everyone to move forward. What is she doing? Is she less glowing because she's emitting her true feelings? No, she's following her gut. She's following her trueness. Our soul knows what to do. Our soul knows how to be with us. We trust it. Finding that alignment of what can we truly know and trust. Do you think that, okay, if I would like to have a new car, how can I emit my true feelings? Ooh, do I have the money for it? Not right now. I don't, but I may in the future. So if I get into the perfect timing of things, I may not get it now, but guess what? We may get it later. So, true feelings. How do you feel about things? Hmm. So, we may find some answers to things. This is the summer to get our stuff going. It's that number one. It's that moving forward. It's the one moment. It's that doing what we can do towards life. Where can we go towards life? Autumn. In the fall season, everything comes together and you reap the wonderful harvest of your abundance. Autumn. Whoop, backwards in this one. In the fall season, everything yours comes together so that you have a wonderful harvest of abundance. So, what is he doing? He's holding inspiration, he's holding magic, he's holding a fairy. Fairies are very magical, even though they like to trip us a little bit, trip us up a little bit, get us thinking, they get us concentrating. That that and there's a lot of bugs. Like Veronica, your bug was kind of on that fairiness. There's a lot of bugs that kind of work in the fairy realm, the elemental realm. And so sometimes there's still bugs, but they're very much in the elementals. So with that, we never know what inspiration can come to us. The light will be shining for us. So remember the navigation, I'm not going to call it work, the navigation that we're doing right now, the pre-planning, that doesn't work for me. That doesn't that that doesn't work really true me for me right now. But yet at the same time, oh, what else is possible? And I can tell you sometimes it doesn't happen right now. It's not like, okay, I decided it's going to work. Is that the perfect timing? No, because once we decide, truly find our truths about something, oh yeah, I truly want a car. I'm worthy of having a new car. I'm worthy of having that job. I want to have a job that really brings inspiration in my life. I want to bring life into things. I want to bring things into life. That as we walk with life and going forward, it's amazing that when we're walking forward, that that going into that fall time, which is only just around the corner, right? That as we plan now, fall is when things are going to come together. Now, does that mean that we may still have to wear masks? Yes, possibly. But I'm going to tell you, I'd rather be healthier than not. Does that mean that we're going to have to find some truths about, do we believe that everybody should have a shot or not? And I'm going to be truthful here about my feelings. I don't care if anybody else gets a shot. Me personally, it feels like almost a death sentence for me. It almost feels that once it gets into my body's gonna repel it, and I'm not too sure if I wouldn't hand it I mean, I know inspiration, I know what I think happens, But this is intuitiveness too, and there's a fine line between listening to your mind's eye and your intuitiveness. I've always, since the minute that COVID has hit and shots were mentioned, I saw, nope, nope, not going there. And that's my truth. At the same time, though, I have to check in with my truth, my true feelings. Do I do what others people want because it's my true feelings? This is a time for us not to be individuals. It's about being in the community, but finding our individual path to our own personal magic. Our own personal magic. Okay, this deck wants to come out. The oracles. Okay. What is it that you would like to tell us? What is it that you would like to tell us? Aha, risk. It takes a risk. It really, 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 really takes a risk to walk down the path, to trust, surrender, and accept. And Kathy, I love that you came up with the 3 A's, and I know the triple A's, and I'm not going to say them here, but there is that part of us that we're getting these moments where, oh, do you think I can do it? Do you think I really, really can do it? It's time to take the risk safely. Does that mean I should go spend tens of thousands of dollars on something? No, but it's about putting the paperwork together. It's about thinking about it. It's about applying the process of it, applying the application of it. And then when the right timing comes up, that's when we jump. That's when the storefront comes, or if we're needing that. That's when the moments of life happens, is when we take the risk, we admit our true feelings about things, the perfect timing will come up when the universe decides it. I love how cards kind of make a sentence out of things. It's amazing. And the risk card was number 4. So with that, the 4 cards. So 4 is about, ah, I forgot what the 4 is about. Sorry. I'll look it up real quick here. Number 4. The number 4. Number 4. So this is what I do sometimes when I don't know the answer totally. Uh, Consensus number with the number 4 is long-term security. It's about focus on building a secure foundation for the future. A number meaning can be thought of as a number basis tone or vibration. So taking a risk is about building a good foundation. Isn't that funny about the synchronicity of things? Oh my gosh, I couldn't have planned that any better. Did I plan that? No, the future had magic in it. When I first started the show, do you think I ended the show this way? I had no clue. I just knew I needed to start talking about something. So, let's see. The number 4 sign, stability and balance. To reach the point of stability, you need to endure and overcome all challenges that will present themselves in your life. To do this, you needed to trust yourself and grow your connections with the spiritual realm. So that's another spiritual meaning for the number 4. So as we take the risk, thank you. Do you see how I just Googled? So if you get a bird or you get a number, just Google it. Sometimes you'll find the answer. Isn't it amazing how the synchronicity just kind of came together at the end of this moment with us? Blessings to all. And remember, please, that I am here to support you, that I have perceptions of a lot of different belief systems. I have the understanding of many different lifetimes and realms. And when I do sessions, those come forth. Now, I do work with my mediumship. I also want to help someone come out of something of shame and guilt. A lot of us are holding on to a lot of our shame and our guilt and our unworthiness, and it's saddening me. And yes, tag, I worked through that too. I had to work through actually quite a bit of emotions in my 2 weeks down in California. When we navigate through the now and move forward, magic can happen. So, if you'd like to have a session with me, all you need to do is reach out, go to angelicclarifications.com. You can schedule an appointment, or you can email me at natasha@angelicclarifications.com. Blessings to you. And remember, we're here on Mondays and Wednesdays at 4 on this channel, my Angelic Clarifications, and my YouTube channel, Natasha Venter. Mondays is the Dance of the Soul, and it's talking with Regan. And if we have a guest, about the soul's walk, the soul's thoughts, the soul's knowings. And with this, about kind of clarifying that life challenges that we go through. It's always amazing what we can have. And I'm going to do this real quick. So thank you, Natasha. That's what I thought, a fairy. Yeah. And I'm sorry, you asked me when things were a little bit busy with my kid's birthday, but I just wanted to say that was what I was tapping, but I was true about those different dimensions there too. So, and Kathy says, thank you. Love you too, Kathy. We shall talk soon, all of us. May blessings be with you, and please let your mind believe in magic, because when we do, never know what synchronicities can come into our life for the perfect timing for us. Blessings.